Hi, my name is Mike Keenan. Look, I just want to share with you a few pages out of a book that I've been reading for the second time now. This is Peter S. Ruckman's The Mark of the Beast. This was published in 1960, and it's actually on its ninth printing. And it's a book that I highly recommend. Anyway, I'm just going to read a few chapters to you, and I'm going to leave a link to a video that I highly recommend. Okay, this is in chapter 5, and just forgive me, my eyesight's starting to fail, so I need some stronger glasses. Anyway, this is chapter 5, the work that remains to be done. If the reader has checked the Bible references given in this book, and what reader ever did, he has come a long way since beginning his analysis of the causes and sources involved in the decline of biblical Christianity. As the evidence mounts, line upon line, precept upon precept, one is fearfully aware of a desire to backtrack from the subject and take shelter again in the comforting arms of dead orthodox scholarship and standard theological works. But as Pastor Robinson of the Mayflower Group said, the Lutherans have stopped with Luther, the Calvinists have stopped with Calvin, but I am sure that God has much more precious truth to yet pour forth from his holy word. These words were spoken in the early part of the 17th century. The Baptists stopped with B.H. Carroll and Spurgeon. The non-denominational groups have stopped permanently with C.I. Scofield. As Christians approach the end of the 20th century and step into the jaws of death at Rome, their leading expositors and teachers have nothing left to give them. Having rejected the Protestant Reformation text of the A.V., by which they were converted to Christ, the Lord's Christ, we perceive the pitiful spectacle of the top radio and TV preachers in the land devoting their precious time to correcting the King James by the Westcott and Hort text, instead of prayerfully reading and waiting on God for further light. Christians, premillennialists among them, have fallen prey to Greek scholarship and nuggets in the Greek New Testament, and have ceased to shed light as they were commanded. The airwaves are no longer filled with the revelation of God, but with the proud and critical voices of Bible believers, who spend half the allotted time with a better reading would be and a more accurate translation is. And unfortunately, the King James says, and actually, this word in the original is, and we might have a better read this instead of this. In the pitiful confusion of infidelity, communism, Catholicism, atheism, immorality, dictatorship, blood, death, disease, poverty, war, famine, and disaster, the Christian is doing no more in the 20th century than convincing people that his Bible isn't any better than a broken mirror. The Pope is way ahead of him. He took that for granted 1500 years ago. Marx is way ahead of him. He took it for granted 100 years ago. And the Greek scholars are way ahead of him. They threw the Syrian type text, Byzantine, of the New Testament out before the Reformation and adopted the vellum scrolls of the Egyptian type text as authoritative. We elect to witness the final sham battle of Bible-believing Christianity. To describe it, one would have to imagine Custer's last stand with a few peculiar appendages. For example, instead of firing at the Indians, we'd find Custer's men busy arguing about which one had the right rifle, and several of them would be comparing rifles and checking serial numbers while the arrows and shells flew. Sitting Bull and his Sioux are slaughtering the troops. The dust clouds are so thick you could choke on them. The wounded are crying for water. Those less fortunate near the edge of the ring are being scalped alive, screaming for help. And in the centre stand a dozen or so men, 2 or 3 of them firing, but none of them firing at the Indians. And we hear the conversation. Now, this rifle is a modification of the Union rifle used at Bull Run. Well, personally, I prefer this newer version. Notice I can hit that bird up there 10 out of 10. He demonstrates and misses twice. But at military school, they taught us that rifling cannot handle .58 caliber shells because, well, you say what you like, but when Spencer put out that repeater with a rimfire in 1863, he did as fine a job as has been done, and who got the Indians shot him. Well, after that, they really are all the same stock. I mean, they tell me that Enfield is getting out a version of the old Springfield, 1860. That would really be easy to handle. Oops, they got Henry. Now look at that redskin over there. He's got a breech-loading Winchester. As sure as you live and breathe, and I know because he's ridden by 5 times within 10 feet, and I had a chance to check it with the original. Oh, looks like Bill got it in the neck. Well, boys, let's quit arguing and get together here now. Isn't it Christian? It isn't Christian to argue. Each to his own, I say. There is some good in all, because we're about out of ammo, but still, I don't believe in attacking anybody's rifle. Let's hop to it, men. So they all line up shoulder to shoulder, and begin to blaze away at the birds. That veteran and ancient enemy of Bible-believing Christianity is as alive today as she was in 1500, and she is tremendously more powerful, having been reinforced by the threats of communism against capitalist countries, with a cause now to go forth in the crusade for the free world. That old mother of harlots and abominations, Revelation 17, is forging a chain that will enslave 2 continents before she is through. As the Peace Corps and the Birch Society and the Red Cross and Boy Scouts rally to her cause, Old Mother Rome sits on the 7 mountains and laughs at premillennial Bible Christianity. For every day that passes witnesses that pitiful Christians quoting the Roman authority as an authority superior to the AV, which is the King James uh, version of the Bible. And I'll just end that there. So that's from Peter S. Ruckman's The Mark of the Beast. Highly recommended reading, and you'll read it multiple times. It's just, Peter Ruckman was greatly used by God, and the world hates him for it, and that's just the way it is and the way it's always been. Look, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below to a video that I posted today. Look, the title of the video is Jesus Doesn't Save You, the Bible Does. If you can just work past the title and actually watch the video, it will greatly help you. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for today. God bless you all. Bye for now.